O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Tuesday, August 19th. We got about 1 hour left to go in trading, and you got markets coming into session lows. NVIDIA will kick it off with. Don't kick off the program with NVIDIA often. And, man, we got selling. NVIDIA off by 3.4% right now. We're within pennies. We might do it as we speak of those session lows with NVIDIA off $6.20. And remember, you're talking about almost 25 billion shares. And this equity down $6 right now for NVIDIA. But we jump to the indices. S&Ps, we're down about 0.7% right now. Again, we just made session lows in the last 7 minutes. NASDAQ 100, similar action. Tech stocks, NASDAQ 100 off by 1.6%, trading off 370 points. You have the Dow, with tech being the one that's selling off dramatically. The Dow only off by 0.1%. The Russell off by 0.9%, though. We keep our eye on yields. A little bit of higher price, lower yield right now, but all things considered, you're only talking about 8 ticks right now. And we have a 10-year yield that's currently sitting at 4.3. Okay, 4.3. And boy, you talk about some of these growth stocks, right? NVIDIA, the ultimate, okay, but all the poster boys, right? Palantir, you could say, is the ultimate, down 10% as I was talking about. You jump around to some of the crypto. How about Coinbase? 5.5%, just like that, man. Where else do you jump around? Yeah, look at Netflix they were talking about this morning. There are some big moves in this market to pay attention to, folks. 2-3%, like it's that. You haven't really seen a huge exodus into yields that you might anticipate. Yeah, we jump to some of the others that are moving today. Hood, Robinhood. Yeah, and you know what's remarkable is it's a 6.6% decline, and we're just back to where you were last Thursday. That's the type of volume and volatility this market has had to the downside and the upside as it goes both ways. All right. Now, we get Chairman Powell on Friday for Jackson Hole. And yeah, how about SoftBank and Intel, right? So Intel, let's jump to Intel today. One of the bright spots, up by 6.3%. They've given back, though, a decent portion of the gains. You're up to 26.53. Intel trading at 25.16. And yeah, SoftBank puts $2 billion. And, you know, why not, right? Masayoshi-san. I'll get it. I should know. It took Japanese for long enough. Masayoshi-san. Why not get in and be an investor that the U.S. government's going to be a 10% investor in to the same degree, right? $2 billion infusion from SoftBank, going to accelerate the AI push. And yeah, you quite a turnaround on Intel shares. You drive to the low, and we're accelerating. You break above those highs, and we're going to have some volume. You know, we've already done almost as much volume as it did on August 15th. 310 million shares. We've already done 260, and it's going to be a heck of a 50 minutes on both ways right now as we come into the close. And yeah, let's just jump around to some of the tech stocks. So Amazon, right? Earnings event, you drive lower, you get it all back, and we got almost a double top here with Amazon down by 1.9% right now. Meta, they've got a gap out there from their earnings as well. You're down by 2.2% right now. And you look at the volume we had on those lows. We did have volume at that high, but nothing since then. Jump over to Google. Not bad. Now, Google just finished a 1-to-1 A to B, C to D from the April lows. Google off by 1.1%. You had a lot of selling back there the day after their earnings. Yeah. That was a great sign of strength with some buying on August 8th. It will come back and test the low of that bar. About 198. That brings you to the high of the bar from July 24th as well. And hey, you know, these markets rising so high, you got to remember that we came into Google earnings at about 192. We're only talking about trading back to the highs of the following day when you were at 198 potentially on Google shares. Some of the other chip stocks, AMD off 5.6% right now. Talked about NVIDIA. Yeah, holding its own right where we started off the program. But boy, that's going to be quite a candle, folks. And we got 50 minutes left to go in trading. Look at that. Talking about, I mean, this is where it's wild, right? That you're going to take out everything you've done since potentially July 25th. Now, you were a little bit lower. But yeah, you're talking about almost a whole month of trading with NVIDIA down by 3.5% right now. Yeah, didn't quite make it the full one-to-one going back to 2024. Look at that, no pullback. I mean, this is a weekly, these are weekly charts, folks, weekly bars. And you traded from 94 to 184 with only 3 tiny red bars. The market's just breathing a little bit after quite a run. Gold, to a certain degree, similar action. You just finished a 1-to-1, A to B, C to D from February. You're chopping around, and here we are again, right at that 1-to-1 on gold at 33.61, but gold under some pressure right now. As the dollar chops near 98. Take a look at the NASDAQ 100. You know, on a volume basis, you engulf that. You did it on less volume. You got higher on even less volume last month. That's not how you want to see that market break those highs. Jump over the S&Ps. It's even more pronounced. A big volume day of selling on July 28th. The last 2 weeks, you've been light on volume on both of them. You make an all-time high last week of 65.08. You know, that doesn't mean the market has to collapse. But that's not exactly indicative of the strength that you break above that July 28th pullback on less volume. All right, we check out some of the banks. JP Morgan down about 0.7% right now. Wells Fargo down by 0.2. Now we get retail. Okay, you get retail. We got Home Depot with their numbers today, up by 3.2%. Put it back to the daily. There's their. We get Lowe's coming up tomorrow. We get TJX tomorrow as well, up by 1%. Look at that move. You get Walmart on Thursday. Walmart up by 0.6%. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got the S&Ps off by 47 points. We're going to be coming back talking with our man Basil Chapman. We'll talk some equities. We'll talk some indices. Don't go away.